So let's go on to our next section today. We are going to do the chemical properties of alcohols. Over here, when we're talking of chemical properties, we know that the functional group in case of alcohols, they are going to be, that is, so when we're doing the chemical properties, we know that the functional group over here, that is going to be the OH group. Okay. And it is because of this OH group that the reactions, they are going to take place. So all the members of the homologous series, they are going to have general chemical properties, which means that they are going to react in a similar manner. So we can just, generalize the entire chemical properties of all those compounds which are having OH as the functional group. Now there are going to be two types of cleavages which are taking place over here. So we say that alcohols, they are very versatile compounds. The first type of cleavage is the cleavage between the C and O bond. Okay. Now over here, second type of cleavage which we are going to have, that is between the O and H bond. So this over here, we see that when the cleavage is going to take place, carbon is going to get a positive charge and the nucleophile or the negative part that is going to leave the particular alcohol. So over here we say that the alcohols, they behave as electrophiles. Okay, or in this case what is happening? OH, the bond that is going to break from here. So we are going to get one alkoxide ion with a negative charge and plus H positive that is going to leave, and over here the alcohol that is going to behave as a nucleophile. In fact, the second type of reactions, they also explain the acidic character of alcohols. Okay, that is going to explain to us the acidic character of alcohols. Then we see that when we talking of the bond over here, the CO bond is weaker in case of tertiary alcohols. So over here, when we are doing the first type of reactions, we will see that the order of the reaction in this case, that is going to be 3 degrees is greater than 2 degree is greater than 1 degree. That is because of plus I effect. Right? So if you're taking a tertiary alcohol over here, this is a tertiary alcohol. The cleavage of the bond will take place from here such that we have CH3, C, CH3, CH3 with a positive charge plus OH negative, right? Now over here, due to plus I effect, all the alkyl groups, they are going to donate electrons or release electrons to the central carbon atom. Therefore the positive charge of the central carbon atom, that is going to get neutralized, and the carbocation that becomes more stable. Because the carbocation is becoming more stable, the forward reaction that is going to proceed, and hence the tertiary alcohols, they are going to undergo the first type of reactions to the maximum speed with respect to the secondary and the tertiary, secondary and the primary, and this is how we are going to get our trend. 3 degree, that is most susceptible to these type of reactions, then 2 degree and then 1 degree. Okay? Now when we are talking of the other type of cleavage over there, that is when we are talking of the cleavage between OH bond. Okay, so over here the order of reactivity that is going to be opposite to what we've seen over here. The order of reactivity is 1 degree is going to be most reactive, then 2 degrees and then it is going to be 3 degrees. So order followed is going to be totally different. So CO cleavage, that is going to follow this order, and OH cleavage, that is going to follow this order. Right? So let's go on to the second type of reactions which we are going to discuss over here first. That is the cleavage of the OH bond. First type of reactions, the cleavage of the OH bond. Now when this type of cleavage is taking place, the hydrogen that is going to be removed. Therefore, this is going to explain to us the acidic character of alcohols. Whenever hydrogen is going to be released, it is going to give us the acidic character of that particular functional group. Okay. Now over here the trend or the order of reactivity is going to be methyl is going to be the fastest, then it is 1 degree, then 2 degree, and then it is going to be 3 degree. So this is going to be the order. So let's go on to the first reaction over here. The first reaction is reaction with metals. Now as the alcohols over here, they are behaving as acids. Because they are behaving as acids over here, therefore they will liberate hydrogen whenever they are going to react with metals. So if we are taking ROH plus sodium, this is going to give us sodium alkoxide plus H2. So this compound which is formed over here, this is known as sodium alkoxide. Okay? Then we have, let's take an example over here. We are taking ethyl alcohol plus sodium to give us sodium ethoxide plus hydrogen. Right? Same is the case if we are reacting it with another active metal over here. We are taking calcium. This is going to give us calcium ethoxide plus hydrogen. Okay? So this is how it is going to react. If you are taking tertiary, this is tertiary alcohol which we have taken over here. Now this is going to react with not a very active metal, so we are taking aluminium. This also shows the high reactivity of tertiary. This is going to give us tertiary butoxide plus hydrogen. So what is tertiary butoxide over here? This is going to be tertiary butoxide plus it is going to give us 3 hydrogen. Okay, so the tertiary can also react with not very reactive metals, but the primary and the secondary will prefer reacting with highly reactive metals like sodium and calcium. Okay, now over here it is seen that the alcohols, they are not acidic enough. They don't have a very high acidic character, because when we were looking at the characteristics we said that it is neutral. So the acidic character is not very high. That is the reason why it does not react with sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. It is not going to react with sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate, and also it does not react with aqueous NaOH and KOH. It is not going to react with NaOH and KOH both. Okay. Now the alcohols, they also have a tendency to react with Grignard reagent. So over here what we will get is the respective alkanes. So you can write down the reaction with Grignard reagent. When they are reacting with Grignard reagent, it is seen that the corresponding alkane is going to be formed. So we have ROH over here. This is going to react with this hydrogen that is going to be extracted from here. So we have RH plus RONGX. This is what we are going to get. So the hydrogen that is going to be removed. Now it is seen that alcohols, they are stronger acids than terminal acetylenes, and acidic nature that is going to be in the order. When we are looking at the acidic nature of various compounds with respect to alcohol, it is seen that water that is going to be more acidic, right? And after that we have alcohol. After alcohol right? And then it is going to be ammonia, and finally it is going to be the alkanes. So this is how the acidic nature that can be placed of various compounds with respect to that of alcohols. So let's understand first the difference in acidic character between alcohols and water. Okay, so when we're talking of, we are comparing the acidic character, of alcohol and water, it is seen that water is a better proton donor. Now, because it is a better proton donor, it is but obvious that it is going to be more acidic with respect to alcohols, right? Now, why this is happening? The reason behind this is that electron releasing inducting effect, we've just seen that the plus I effect over here, that is going to make alkyl group which is going to donate electrons, that is going to make alcohols as weaker acids. So we're looking at ROH over here. Already there are two lone pair of electrons which are present on oxygen. This alkyl group that is going to donate the electrons on this oxygen, as a result of which the polarity between the oxygen and hydrogen that is going to decrease. Now when the polarity decreases, oxygen will pull the hydrogen closer to itself, therefore making the release of hydrogen difficult. Okay, so alcohols, they are going to be weaker acids. Also alcohols and phenols, they behave as Bronsted acids. Alcohols and phenols, they are going to behave as Bronsted acids. Bronsted acid means that if we have a base and we are reacting it with an alcohol. So over here, this is the base and this is going to behave as an acid. Then we are going to get a conjugate acid over here. This base is going to abstract a proton from here. So this is the conjugate acid, and we get an alkoxide ion which is going to behave as a conjugate base, right? Therefore it is seen whenever we are treating any alkoxide with water, that alkoxide ion that is going to remove hydrogen from water very easily due to the high negative charge which is present over here. Okay, so this is going to behave as a conjugate base, or you can say that this behaves as a base and this behaves as an acid, such that now we get ROH plus OH negative. Okay, so over here this is ROH over here that is going to behave as a conjugate acid, and this is going to behave as a conjugate base. So this is how the we can explain that comparison of acidic strength when we are doing. So acidic character, that is due to what? That is because of the polar nature of OH. Had this not been polar, hydrogen would not have been removed. So it is because of the polar nature of OH. Now when there is an electron releasing group present, that is going to increase the electron density on oxygen, thereby decreasing the polarity. So if the polarity that is going to decrease, the hydrogen, as I have already explained, the hydrogen that is going to be pulled more towards oxygen, as a result of which the acidic character that would decrease. So we are looking at 1 degree alcohol. 1 degree alcohol has only one electron releasing alkyl group. Okay? So this is going to increase the, you can say, the density on oxygen. So when we are looking at the strength of acids over here, it is seen that 1 degree that is going to be most acidic, then 2 degree, and then it is going to be 3 degree. Okay, so this is going to be the comparison. Then let's go on to the second reaction over here in the same category, reaction with monocarboxylic acids. Reactions with monocarboxylic acids. So alcohols, they are going to form organic esters, and this reaction is known as esterification reaction, which means what? Which means formation of an ester. Formation of an ester. So whenever alcohol that is going to react with an acid, a carboxylic acid, a fruity smell that is going to come, and that is the smell of an ester, and the reaction that is known as esterification reaction. The reaction that is reversible reaction, therefore the reaction will be carried out in presence of H2SO4. So if we have over here RCOOH plus R-OH, the reaction will take place in presence of H2SO4, right? Or we can also use dry HCl gas over here. These two, they are going to behave as protonating agents. That is, they are going to help in the abstraction of the proton from the alcohol. Okay, otherwise the reaction that is going to be very, very slow. So over here we are going to get RCOOR dash plus we will get water. Okay? Now HCl gas, if you are using specifically, if you are using HCl gas for dry HCl gas for esterification, the reaction that is known as Fischer-Speed or Fischer-Spire esterification. Fischer-Spire esterification, that is especially if you are using HCl gas, right? Now the water which is formed over here, that should be immediately removed, otherwise the reaction will go back in the reverse direction. Okay? Now when we are talking for alcohols, the trend of reactivity is going to be CH3OH, that is greater than 1 degree, greater than 2 degree, which is greater than 3 degree. And when we are talking of acids, in case of acids, formic acid that will have the greatest reactivity. जितना steric hindrance कम होता है, उतनी ही reactivity is going to be faster. Then we have CH3, then we have, so as the number of carbon atoms you can see are increasing, the reactivity that is going to decrease. And in case of 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree, it is seen that the 1 degree acid, which has one alkyl group attached to the alpha carbon atom, that is going to be most reactive. And if 3 alkyl groups they are attached to the alpha carbon atom, that is going to be the least reactive. The reason behind that is, the bulkier group. Now the mechanism over here that has been explained on the basis of a process which is known as isotopic labeling. Okay. Now over here when we are going to look at the mechanism, now if we have say R1 C double bond O OH, this is the acid which we have, and we are taking an alcohol over here. Let's say this is R2, we have different alkyl groups present. The reaction will take place in presence of an acid, and it is seen that the R2 over here, that is going to attack at this carbon atom. Okay, so over here the cleavage of the bond will take place from here, and in the alcohol the cleavage of the bond will take place from here, such that the product in presence of a acidic medium, we are going to have R1 C double bond O R2 plus water. So this is how the alkyl group which is present with the acid, or this very clearly explains that which hydrogen is being removed from the alcohols and the acids over here. If we are taking oxalic acid is this is oxalic acid, COOH, COOH, and we are taking over here ethylene glycol. So ethylene glycol is this is going to be ethylene glycol. This will give us a cyclic product in presence of H2SO4. So if you're looking at the mechanism, OH from here and hydrogen from here. Similarly, we have OH from here and we are going to have hydrogen from here. This is going to give us a cyclic product which is known as lactone. So you have over here double bond, okay? O, C, C, H2, and then we have C, double bond O, O, and CH2. This is known as lactone. Right? Then the next third reaction under this we are going to do is reaction with inorganic acids. Reactions with inorganic acids. So over here, please remember that alcohols do not react with halogen acids. It is not going to react with halogen acids, but with other acids it is going to form inorganic esters. Okay? So we have over here C2H5OH, and this is going to react with H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4. This is going to give us SO3H. This is known as ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Okay, and plus H2SO4 that is going to be recovered back. Okay, so this is known as an inorganic ester, ethyl hydrogen sulfate. Okay? Or if we are reacting this with nitric acid that is going to be OHNO2. So water is going to be removed from here. यहाँ पे भी H2SO4 की जगह we are going to get water over here. ठीक है? और यहाँ पे if we are doing this again, this is going to give us ethyl nitrate C2H5 ONO2 plus water. This is ethyl nitrate. So these are known as inorganic esters. Then the next reaction, the fourth reaction we are going to do under this category. The fourth reaction is acylation. Acylation means introduction of an acyl group. So acylation or reaction with acid chlorides. Acylation or reaction with acid chlorides. So these are going to introduce an acetyl group over here. Acetyl group is the RCO group. Okay. So we're taking an alcohol and we are reacting this with acyl chloride. Acyl chloride that is going to be Cl RCOCl. So from here this HCl that is going to be removed. Okay, the reaction that is going to take place in presence of a base. So we are taking pyridine as a base over here, and this is going to again form an ester. So we have R, O, C double bond O, R dash plus HCl. Okay, so pyridine that helps us to remove or neutralize the reaction, because in the product you can see that acid that is formed. That is the reason why the reaction that is taking place in presence of pyridine. So let's do this reaction with (3° alcohols. When we are doing this reaction with 3° alcohols, so we are taking over here ethanoyl chloride, CH3COCl plus and CH3, right? This is going to be a 3° alcohol. From here, HCl that is going to be removed, and we are going to get over here this is the kind of compound. Now when this is reacted with HCl, it is seen that over here the functional groups of both these compounds, they will change. So we are reacting this back with HCl. We are going to get over here CH3, C double bond O and OH. We will get an acid over here, and the chlorine that will go to the tertiary group. So we are going to have over here CH3, C double bond O. Alcohol reacts or attacks at the smaller group, and the tertiary carbon is going to be, or you can also write this as CH3, CH3, COCl, CCl. So these are the two compounds which we are going to get over here. We will get an acid and a dry substituted halide when we are reacting it back with HCl. So this is another reaction. Then the fifth reaction which we are going to do over here, that is alkylation reaction. Under the same category we are doing the fifth reaction. That is alkylation reaction. In case of alkylation reaction, we are going to introduce an alkyl group, which can be done by reacting ethyl alcohol or alcohol with dialkyl sulfate. So we are taking over here dimethyl sulfate. Okay, so over here we are going to get two products. One is going to be ethyl methyl ether. So we have C2H5OCH3. Ethers are going to be formed over here, and plus we are going to get methyl hydrogen sulfate. So this is ethyl methyl ether and methyl hydrogen sulfate. Then the sixth reaction is reaction with Grignard reagent. So when we are reacting it with Grignard reagent, we have ROH plus R dash MgX. So this is going to give us an alkane, and that alkane is formed by the alkyl group which is attached to the Grignard reagent. Remember this. Okay, and plus we are going to get over here So if you're taking an example, MgBr, this is going to give us the alkyl group which is going to form the alkanes of the Grignard reagent, and OCH3 and MgOCH3 and X. Okay? Is it clear? Alright. Then next we go on to reaction between ethyl alcohol and concentrated sulfuric acid. Now over here when we are going to look at the reaction ethyl alcohol and sulfuric acid, basically this is a dehydration reaction which we are going to do over here, where OH negative, that is going to be removed. So this is a special kind of reaction of alcohols, and this is a very important reaction over here. From which mechanism generally comes in your this thing. Okay, so before going on to that reaction, let's go on to the other type of reactions which we have already discussed. So those are the reactions of the cleavage of COH groups. So this is the next reaction which we are going to do over here. Reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. These reactions we have already done in our haloalkanes, right? So we have the second type of reactions over here. Reactions involving cleavage of COH bond. So we've already done this reaction, and the order of reactivity as already stated is going to be 3 degree, 2 degree, and then it is going to be 1 degree. Okay. Now over here the first reaction which we are going to do, that is reaction with halogen acids, right? So this is preparation of haloalkanes which we had done in our previous chapter. Now over here when we are looking at the reactivity of the halogen acids, HI, that is going to be most reactive, then HBr, then HCl, and lastly it is going to be HF. This is because of the lowest bond dissociation energy in case of HI, because of large size of iodine, as a result of which the bond length that is going to be greater and bond dissociation energy that is going to be least. When we talking of the halogens over the alcohols over here, in alcohols allyl is going to be most reactive, which is approximately equal to the reactivity of the benzyl group, and then it is going to be 3 degree, 2 degree, and then it is going to be 1 degree. Okay? Now the reaction that is going to follow the mechanism of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Okay, so let's take an example over here. We have ROH plus we are taking HX. The reaction takes place in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, when we are going to get RX plus H2O. So this is a repetition of reactions which we've already done, right? So if you're taking over here, basically this is a test for 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree alcohols also, and the process where we are using ZnCl2 as a catalyst, the reaction that is known as the Groves process for preparation of haloalkanes, right? Now over here it is seen that as soon as we react the alcohol with HX, the alkyl halide which is going to form, that is going to give turbidity or appear turbid or appear cloudy, right? So that is the test for alcohols. When we are mixing a 3 degree alcohol with HX, the turbidity that is going to appear very fast. Immediately it will appear. Okay. So that shows us that the alcohol which we are using, that is a 3 degree 3,3,3 alcohol. Secondary, that is going to give us turbidity after a little while, whereas primary is going to give us turbidity only on heating. So this very clearly explains us the trend of reactivity. 3 degree will be most reactive, then 2 degree, and then it is going to be 1 degree. Okay? So this is what the reaction is. Now in case alcohol is heated with concentrated HI, that is we want to get the iodide as a product, then the catalyst used is going to be red phosphorus instead of zinc chloride. So what is going to be the reaction? We have C2H5OH plus 2HI in presence of red phosphorus, and we heat it. We are going to get over here plus water. Okay, the second reaction also we've already done. Reaction with phosphorus halides. So when we are doing the reactions with phosphorus halides, the first we will do with PCl3. So this reaction also we've already done. The order of reactivity will again be 3 degree alcohol greater than 2 degree greater than 1 degree. Okay? And if you're doing the same reaction with PCl5, and plus HCl. Okay, now we have another reaction, that is reaction with thionyl chloride. This reaction also we've already done. So our third reaction over here, that is reaction with SOCl2. In fact, we've already studied that this is one of the best methods to prepare alkyl halides. So if you're reacting this plus SO2. Over here both HCl and SO2 they are gaseous products, so they can be easily removed. Again the order of reactivity is going to be same, 3 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 1 degree. Okay? Then the fourth reaction we have over here is reaction with ammonia. Next reaction, that is reaction with ammonia. So we are going to take over here alcoholic ammonia NH3, right? And the reaction that takes place in presence of alumina at 360 degrees centigrade, when we are going to get primary amine RNH2 plus water. This primary amine which is formed over here, that can react with another molecule of ROH at 360 degrees. So this is going to give us dialkylamine plus H2. So the dialkylamine can further react with at 360 degrees. This is going to give us trialkylamine. Okay, so you can degrade or you can alkylate the amines by this particular method. Okay, so these are the main reactions of these two series. Then the next reaction which we are going to do, that is some special reactions of alcohols. So the first one which we will do is dehydration of alcohols. Dehydration of alcohols means removal of water. Dehydration means removal of water. Now whenever we are taking C2H5OH and we are reacting this with concentrated H2SO4 at a temperature of 433 Kelvin, this is going to abstract a water molecule from alcohol to yield alkenes. So we have over here CH2 double bond CH2 plus water. Okay. Now the mechanism of this reaction is very, very important, and the mechanism that is known as protonation and deprotonation mechanism. Protonation and deprotonation. Protonation means adding a proton and deprotonation means removing a proton. The mechanism is a three-step mechanism. In the first step, protonation of the alcohol that is going to take place. So we have over here CH3, CH2O. This H positive that is coming from the acid which we are using over here. Okay, so this H positive will go and attack at the oxygen such that we get over here a protonated alcohol. Right? This is what a protonated alcohol is. And then after that, the protonated alcohol which is formed over here is going to remove a water molecule, and the water molecule gives us a formation of a carbocation. So what is going to be our next step over here? Next step which we have is this is over here, is going to get a positive charge. Removal of a water molecule takes place and we get CH3, CH2 positive, carbocation plus H2O. Now this is going to lose a proton, so it is known as deprotonation now. So we have CH2 with a positive charge. This bond is going to go over here, and the proton that is going to be removed such that we have CH2 double bond CH2 plus H positive, and the proton that is going to be yielded back, right? So over here we will be taking propanol. Ethanol is giving us ethene. In a similar manner, if we are taking propanol, this is going to give us propene as the major product. But if we are taking butanol, butanol is going to give us, because you can see over here that there is a carbocation which is going to be formed, and we've already done the hydride shift earlier, isn't it? So we're taking butanol. This is going to be butanol. Okay. Now over here, when we are protonating it and then removing the water from there, the carbocation which is going to be formed over here is going to be CH3, CH2 and positive charge, right? So this is a 1 degree carbocation. Okay. Now over here, this has a tendency to go to a 2 degree carbocation by taking a hydride shift. And how is that hydride shift going to take place? The hydrogen that is going to transfer over here and the positive charge will transfer over here, right? So we are going to get a 2 degree carbocation now. Because we are getting a 2 degree carbocation over here, therefore the major product in this case that is going to be but2ene. Because when the H positive will be released from here, the double bond will go here and hydrogen that is going to shift on this side. Okay? So the major product on dehydration is going to be but2ene, right? And the minor product is going to be but1ene. Right? Why but1ene is the minor product? Because of the hydride shift that is taking place. Have you understood? So these are what dehydration is. The dehydrating agents which you can use over here, they may be the one which we have used is concentrated H2SO4. We can also use concentrated H3PO4. The temperature that can be taken as 200 degrees centigrade over here. Then we can use alumina. At 350 degrees centigrade, or we can take KHSO4. Potassium hydrogen sulfate. We can take BF3. P2O5, anhydrous ZnCl2. So we can take all of these as you can say as dehydrating agents. Is it clear? Okay. So these are a few reactions which we have done today. There are certain more reactions which we will be doing tomorrow. Alright.